The town of Silent Hollow was shrouded in an eerie silence. Once a bustling community, it now lay forgotten, a ghost of its former self. The fog rolled in, adding to the sense of desolation. Dust lay thick on the deserted streets, undisturbed for years. The wind occasionally stirred it, creating small, swirling eddies that danced briefly before settling back into stillness. Buildings stood empty, their windows like vacant eyes staring out into the void. Once filled with life and laughter, they now echoed with the memories of a time long past. No one dared to live there anymore. The streets, once filled with the sounds of daily life, were now silent, save for the occasional creak of an old door or the rustle of leaves. Not since the Vanridge tragedy. The event had left an indelible mark on the town, a scar that never healed. Old newspapers told the story, their headlines faded, but the horror still palpable. The old Vanridge house loomed at the edge of town, a spectre against the grey sky. Its presence was a constant reminder of the past, a shadow that hung over Silent Hollow. Its windows were boarded shut, paint peeling like scars. The house seemed to weep, its once grand facade now a crumbling relic of a bygone era. It was a place of whispers and shadows. The walls seemed to hold secrets, and the air was thick with the weight of untold stories. Locals told tales of a curse. They spoke in hushed tones, their voices tinged with fear and superstition. The stories had been passed down through generations, each one adding to the house's dark legend. They said the house was hungry. It fed on the fear and sorrow of those who dared to enter. At night it seemed to come alive, its creaks and groans a symphony of despair. Clara, a young journalist, scoffed at the stories. She didn't believe in ghosts or curses. She craved a good story, a scoop that would make her career. The Vanridge house, she thought, was the perfect opportunity. Armed with her camera and a healthy dose of skepticism, she approached the house. The air grew cold as she neared the porch. Clara swallowed her dust motes danced in the faint rays of sunlight that pierced the gloom. The silence inside the house was heavy, oppressive. It felt as though the walls themselves were holding their breath, waiting for something to break the stillness. The air was thick with dust and the scent of decay, a testament to the years of neglect. Clara could hear the blood pounding in her ears. She explored each room, her camera clicking, documenting the decay. Every creak of the floorboards beneath her feet seemed amplified in the silence, each sound echoing through the empty halls. She felt a growing sense of unease, as if she were being watched. A sudden noise made her jump. Footsteps, slow and deliberate, echoed from the floor above. Her heart raced as she strained to listen, trying to determine if it was just her imagination. The sound was unmistakable, each step measured and purposeful. Clara froze, listening intently. The footsteps stopped. She held her breath, waiting for them to start again, but the silence was absolute. She felt a chill run down her spine, the hairs on the back of her neck standing. Hello? Her voice sounded small in the vast emptiness. Only silence answered. She called out whispers seemed to come from the very walls, as if the house itself was trying to communicate. She felt a growing sense of dread, unsure of what she might find next. Clara paused in front of the new, tarnished room. The air around her felt heavy, as if the room itself was full of breath. She raised her head, focusing on him. The lens captured dim light, creating an almost ethereal glow around her image. But it wasn't her reflection staring back. The image in the mirror seemed distorted, twisted in a way that made her skin crawl. A dark, indistinct figure loomed behind her in the mirror. Its presence was unsettling, like a cold breath on the back of her neck. Clara spun around, heart pounding. There was nothing there. The room was empty, silent, the sound of her own breathing. She glanced back at the mirror. The figure was gone. The glass now reflected only her own wide-eyed face, pale and frightened. Clara tried to rationalize it, but fear gnawed at her. She decided to leave. The room felt oppressive, as if the walls were closing in on her. As she turned to go, a shadow detached itself from her. It moved with an unnatural fluidity like smoke in the breeze. It grew larger, taking on a vaguely humanoid form. Clara gasped, backing. The shadow seemed to reach out towards her, its form becoming more defined with each passing second. The shadow moved towards her, its edges rippling. Fear choked Clara's throat. She stumbled back, her foot catching on something. She fell, dropping the camera. The shadow loomed over her. More shadows detached themselves from the dark, circling her, closing in. Clara felt a cold dread grip her. She was surrounded, trapped. A voice, chilling and ancient, whispered in her ear, "This house, it hungers." Clara screamed, scrambling back. She couldn't escape. The shadows pressed in, engulfing her in darkness. Then, silence. The house stood quiet once more, the shadows gone. Clara was gone too. Only her camera lay on the dusty floor, its lens shattered. Days later, the camera was found. When the film was developed, it sent chills down everyone's spines. The last photo showed Clara, her face contorted in terror, a dark, shadowy hand reaching out from behind her. Scrawled across her face, as if written in blood, was a message: "Beware the shadows." The Vanridge house still stands, a silent testament to its dark secret, a chilling reminder that some places hold a darkness that can never be outrun.